Hi, this is how you replace the engine air filter on a 2014 Ford S-Max, something that is fairly easy to do and basically only requires a Phillips screwdriver as well as a normal flathead one. This particular Ford uses the circular version of this air filter, whereas some models instead utilizes a flat, more triangular version. Like for most spare parts, the best way to find the correct filter for your specific Ford vehicle is to use one of those input your registration number websites where it then just spits out the correct part. Of course, here also double check the height and width measurements to make sure that you are ordering the correct filter here. So the filter compartment is located here to the right of the engine block, looking at the car from the front. What we want to do is to basically unscrew these 6 screws from the top of the filter compartment as well as this one to be able to get the lid off. Here you can also, if you want, remove the cabling to this little airflow sensor plug. However, it is actually not necessary at all since the lid can just be pulled out to the side anyway. Alright, let's get to it. Here I for some reason actually unplugged the airflow sensor connector by just pulling the red connector backwards and then removed the plug from the sensor. Then, like mentioned, if you want to, you can also disconnect the whole cable from the lid of the filter compartment. However, at least in my case, this is held in place by horrible clips. They pretty much just break if you try and remove them. So here I'm just leaving it as it is with that. Then we start by unscrewing the flathead screw holding the outlet air duct enough to be able to just wiggle it out. After that, we then remove the 6 screws holding the actual lid of the filter compartment in place. Here I do remove them fully, but you can actually just unscrew them halfway and then let them stay in the lid for easy reassembly as well. And after that's done, the lid just comes off like so, and here we have the old filter. This is not held in place by anything and just lifts out of the filter compartment like so. Before inserting the new filter here, it's always good to just take a moment to get rid of any dust, leaves and dead bugs that usually houses in here. And after that, it is time to fit the new filter by making sure that the bottom of it aligns with the bottom of the filter compartment like so. And after this, it is just a matter of putting the top cover back on and sliding the outlet pipe into the duct and redoing all the screws. Here, the lid of the filter compartment should fit without using too much force. However, since the same filters are used in many different vehicles, the height of these can differ with a few millimeters, making, for example, this new one I used having to be pushed down a little more by the force of the screws. Hence the reason the top of the filter is somewhat squishy to allow for a neat and airtight fit inside many different compartments. After that, and if you have disconnected the airflow sensor like I did, just plug it back in like so, and that is that. All done. Hope the video helped. Also, please share any thoughts or questions in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you for watching. Bye.